everybody, welcome back to my channel. I'm Lizzie B and this is Busy Bee Jewelry. As you can see today I've got a bunch of stuff set out here because I just have a few things planned that I wanted to do today and wanted to try to get this video done and out there to you guys because my stepdaughter is actually coming into town for the week. It's her spring break. And I dropped my husband off at the airport this morning to go pick her up, and then she'll be here for a week. So things are a little crazy, and but I'm trying to keep up with, you know, posting these long form videos more regularly. So I'm gonna try to get a couple things done today. Maybe this will be like a 2-part video or something like that, but we'll see. I'm definitely gonna be working with the UV resin again. And I've got a couple different things here. These and all these that I filled in a couple days ago. These I filled in, I don't even know how long ago, with just one layer of the regular epoxy resin. So I'm thinking I'm gonna do something with those, with layering the UV resin over top and, you know, adding the flowers and stuff to those. I've got some cool flowers, these big yellow ones. I'm thinking one of those is gonna look really neat in here, and you know, some other stuff to mess with. And then I also wanted to try out this new mold. If you watched, or if you go back and watch my unboxing video, you will see that I just got this one, and so I'm really excited to try it out. What I really want to do today is a couple of these deeper circular molds. I've seen some really neat stuff where people do like a layer of the UV resin, cure it, put a flower down in, and then fill it the rest of the way in with the resin, you know, to kind of give it that domed look for the flower. So I really want to try that, and I'm going to do some of these real little ones and make some little stud earrings with these, because I don't really have very many stud earrings that I've made, and I definitely want to try that. So we'll see what I'm gonna try to put in those. I've got some of these alcohol dye things out to try to use. They say they're good on epoxy and UV resin, so we will see how that goes. All right, I think I'm gonna set these aside and start with the bigger mold. Go ahead and get my little UV light plugged in here. I definitely need to get a bigger light eventually. I was like, how am I gonna do this? I'm just gonna have to like stand it on top of that mold. I've never really, sorry about the dog barking. I never have done this before where you kind of layer it, but I've seen people do it for sure. So that's what I'm gonna try to do first, is make a very thin layer of the UV resin to then lay the flower down on top of it. So we will see how that goes. I think we just put a little bit in. I don't know if I maybe need a little bit more than that. That one I put a little more in, so let's add a little bit more to this one. I'm not gonna like stress myself out and try more than I think I can here, so I'm just gonna do these 2 to start with. And I think you kind of scrape the resin up the sides. Okay. Kind of lift it and turn it. I really want to just get it all the way up around the edges. There's definitely a lot of bubbles in there. All the way up. And I'm just gonna move very quickly with this light. Start getting those cured. Okay, so that's done curing. Okay, it's more dipped down, I think, than I thought it was. So, let's see, I definitely, these are pretty large, so they're gonna be necklaces, so they don't really need to match necessarily. Got this packet of pressed flowers that was just left over from the last one that I had gotten, and then I have all these that are, you know, pretty new. So I'm gonna try to use up the ones from the older pack. And I'm thinking with these two, I'm gonna try to color a little bit of the UV resin with, you know, just a nice light color to help the flowers really pop. So let's see, I see this big pink one down in here. Let's see if it's in good, woo, if it's in good shape. It looks pretty good. I think this is gonna be a good size. So I wanna do it like that, and I want it to, yeah, that's gonna be perfect. Hopefully that resin came up far enough on the sides to cover the outside of that. I guess we will see. And I guess I'm just gonna try to do both of these at the same time. See if there's another flower in here that's in good enough shape. Ooh, that one's pretty. It's kind of a darker pink. Petals aren't perfect, but these are kind of experimental ones. So I'm fine using flowers that are maybe not absolutely perfect and saving the better looking ones for after I've had some practice with this. All right, so in this little cup here that came with one of the resin kits, I'm just gonna mix a little bit of this UV resin. Whoa, that came out kind of crazy. Not sure exactly how much I need. I'm not gonna do any more than that. If I need to do them one at a time, that's fine. I can always kind of add more. And maybe blue, maybe light blue with the pink. Let's just see, we'll see how that turns out. I'm gonna shake this up really good. I've been using this stuff. I really want to get the Let's Resin brand, but this one, you know, has worked for now. I think I just found it on Amazon. This is just their blue. I really don't think I'm gonna need much. I'm gonna start with 2 drops and just see. See where that gets us. That might even be darker than I was thinking. Oh, it's pretty. Stir and maybe get some of these bubbles out at the same time. All right, I'm gonna start with this one. This might take all of this that I poured in here to fill this one. Ooh. Actually, I'm gonna need even more than that. Okay. It's hard for me to judge like how much I need for these little go ahead and pop those bubbles before I pour in. I mean, there's definitely more in this little cup, but I still don't think, yeah, it's not gonna be quite enough, so. I think what I'm gonna do, so I'm not wasting anything, is I'm just going to fill in the rest. That'll actually lighten up that blue to more of what I wanted originally. Make sure I get the mold filled. Okay. Let me get it clean. Oh goodness, I'm a mess today. Give it a little stir just to make sure that color is stirred in. Make sure I'm gonna press down on this flour, get all these bubbles out. My goodness, me and the bubbles. I've definitely, if you watched my last video, I think it was the last one that I posted, I was making the earrings with the UV resin. I just kept getting bubbles in it. I was getting so frustrated, but okay, I think that's good. Oh, I hope this turns out pretty. All right, I'm gonna go ahead, put it under the light for that 150 seconds. Okay, let's see if this is done. I'm just gonna poke the edge there. Yep, I think that feels cured. Whew, it's crazy how hot it gets under that little light. Let it cool off for just a second there, and then I guess I'm gonna pop it out. See if I can get that one popped out without doing the other one, but I just want to see this one before I start on the other one. All right, let's see. I think I can get it out of here. Oh my gosh, and there's a huge bubble right in the middle. All right, that's what I was afraid of. Yeah, I don't like it with the, well, when there's not an extra blue background behind it other than this huge bubble in the middle. It's fairly cool, but again, I don't, the blue just kind of covers up the flower and it doesn't look good. Okay, so that one was kind of a waste. Okay, I have an idea. I think what I actually need to do, this is why I wanted to do that one before I even moved on to another one. I need to put some resin on the front of this flower so as to not get the bubbles. And on this one, I'm just gonna do the clear resin. I guess I could do like a 3-layer kind of thing. That might work. I'm a little scared to be experimenting anymore with anything. Okay. But that's what this is all about. Today's video is experimenting. So we will see. All right, I'm I'm gonna do that. I'm making a huge mess today, but that's okay. All right. Gonna lay that flower back down in there with the resin coated on that side. I'm just kind of pressing it down with my finger. Okay, it's in there. Now, and by the way, I love this. This thing is awesome. This little silicone paintbrush, and then on the other end, it's got the little ball point. So this is the first time I'm using these, but this is very handy. So yeah, I think what I'm gonna do, try to use up the rest of this clear over top. Okay. Fill in to totally cover where the flower petals go up to. Tiny bit more. Okay. And then I'm going to cure this, leaving a tiny bit of space there to then fill in with a little bit of color so that that hopefully shines through into that like negative space. The other thing I noticed with this one is it's slightly sticky on this side, so I definitely need to flip it over and cure the other side once I do this, I believe. So bear with me here, guys. This is all trial and error. Bubbles are out, and I think what I can do is I have this tiny little bit of blue left. I'll use that as the final layer over top of this. So let's go ahead and cure that. Okay. Definitely cured. Now I think, okay, yeah, I can kind of see it through there. I don't see any bubbles. I am gonna just give it a little bit of a cure on this side, just to make sure, because like I said, this other one was just a little sticky. So let's do that. I'm just doing 60 seconds on this side. And then while that was curing, I added just a little bit of blue, or I'm sorry, a little bit of clear into the blue that I already had to make sure that hopefully I have enough to fill in the top. And I'm thinking it's gonna look really cool now that I'm kind of seeing it from this side. Sometimes I don't like to peek. I like to, you know, just see it when I pop it out, but I definitely wanted to get both sides nice and cured. So let's see. Okay, hopefully that did it. I can always, if I pull it out and still a little sticky, I can always throw it back under the light. Okay, and now I'm just going to scrape this blue out. I think there's still not quite enough. I don't know why I'm having such a hard time today judging how much resin I need. If you guys watched my video with the jewelry holders, I had it like spot on without even, you know, looking up any measurements or anything for that. So I don't know what's wrong with me today. I'm obviously a little out of it today. But this is cool. It'll make it a nice light blue. Okay. Could leave it a little swirly like that. That's kind of a neat effect. Or I kind of wonder about that and then maybe dripping. Oh, I'm gonna do too much and mess it up. I'm just gonna give it a little stir. Yeah, if it's kind of swirly like that with the colors, cool, I like that. Okay. Oh, a couple little bubbles. I mean, it's on the back. I guess that doesn't really matter too much, but try to get them out of there so it's as clear as possible. All right, and going in with the last round of the UV light. Okay, see, that's done. That was a weird thing to touch it with because I feel like I can't. Okay. Drum roll, please. Let's see if this one is any better. And I totally over poured it a little bit there. That's the look I was going for. Okay, that's better. Now I know what I'm doing.